The College Football Playoff Selection Committee has made its decisions. Still, as much as Oregon's impressive 13-0 season and Big Ten championship deserve recognition, the road to the national title should be more straightforward. Despite earning the number 1 seed in the 12-team playoff, Oregon's path to the championship is challenging. Coach Dan Lanning, you've done remarkable things this season, flying across multiple time zones and finishing a perfect season with a 45-37 win over Penn State. Yet, despite all this, your reward for being the top-ranked team isn't a favorable path, but rather a tough road that doesn't reflect the true strength of your squad. Instead of facing a relatively more straightforward quarterfinal opponent like Boise State or Indiana, Oregon will meet either Ohio State, with its star-studded roster, or Tennessee, currently ranked number 8 in offense and number 4 in defense. Both teams are formidable. This matchup could be the tightest of the entire quarterfinal round. The seeding system used for this playoff aligns differently than the rankings. In a traditional tournament setup, the highest-ranked team would face the easiest possible path, but instead, Oregon has been set up with one of the most challenging matchups in the field. If the bracket had been set according to actual rankings, Oregon would have faced the winner of Boise State and Indiana. But that's not the case here. And the unfairness doesn't stop there. If Oregon manages to survive the quarterfinals, they're likely to face number 3 ranked Texas in the semifinals, a team that has arguably had an easier road to this point. Despite not defeating a top 25 team all season and having a poor record against Georgia, Texas has a much softer path ahead, including a home game against Clemson and a relatively easy quarterfinal against Arizona State. Meanwhile, Oregon's opponents in the first 2 rounds will be some of the toughest in the field. Georgia, the number 2 seed, gets a much more favorable matchup with Indiana or Notre Dame. Penn State, the Big Ten champion you just defeated, will take on SMU and Boise State. If we're being honest, Oregon's first playoff game will likely have the most minor point spread of any quarterfinal, yet the Ducks are still facing an uphill battle compared to other top-seeded teams. Why is this happening? It's because of the inherent flaws in this system that conference commissioners have created. When the 12-team format was designed, the idea was to reward conference champions with a first-round bye. However, since conferences have expanded, the imbalance in strength and scheduling has created a situation where the best teams don't always get the rewards they deserve. The committee needs help balancing a flawed system built around outdated conference structures. Because of these decisions, teams like Boise State and Arizona State are seated higher than they should be, based purely on conference titles and not overall strength. This mess was inevitable, with committee members publicly admitting that they can't adjust seeding based on the results of conference championship games, much less accurate performance data. As Ward Manuel, the committee chairman, explained, they are simply ranking teams and following the seeding system set by conference commissioners. In this format, the goal is not to ensure the fairest possible path to the title but to follow the rules set by the conferences, no matter how skewed they may be. So, Oregon, as much as your season deserves to be celebrated, the reality of the playoff system is that you've been handed a much more difficult road than other top teams. But that's the system you're working within, and nothing can change it now. Congratulations again on your incredible season, and good luck in the playoffs. You've earned it. Now, let's see if you can overcome the challenges this broken system has thrown your way.